Alright, well, this video is supposed to be the first video of my next project, which is building an all-wheel drive vehicle out of two Nissan Leaf drivetrains. But it's kind of changed into that of a way of kind of a warning for people out there looking to buy donor vehicles for their EV parts. Fortunately, I got screwed buying this car from Copart, and I want to throw it out there so that other people can not run into the same problem. Bought the Nissan Leaf. It was listed as part of their engine start program. And I paid about $2,200 for the car, plus their $500 of fees. And I was hoping to make most of that back with selling the battery. Pull out the battery, come to find it's completely empty. Someone else already pulled the battery out, almost certainly before the car went to the yard. I don't think anyone in the yard pulled it out because they actually, whoever did this, did a good job of covering their tracks. They took off the put the aero panels back on underneath. There's a bunch of little plastic clips and all that stuff. I've never, they put them all back in. You could not tell from the outside that it had been removed. They did a good job of, like I said, covering their tracks. There's ways the things you do. I've heard this happen before, and I was cognizant of it. And the ways you do to avoid it is make sure you buy from a insurance company, not from a individual. In this case, it was being sold by an insurance company. And the fact that engine start program means that it supposedly was be able to run when it first arrived at the yard. You can now guess how much faith I put into the engine start program. I'm going to reach out to Copart and see, but they're very, very clear on their auction. Whatever it shows, whatever they say about it, doesn't matter. You buy it, it's as is. Even if the pictures are wrong, the VIN's wrong, the mileage can be wrong, they don't take anything. It's you paid for it, you bought it. So this is my half of the Leaf that now I have to get rid of. Someone did very clearly pull the battery out, put the empty case back in, and put it all back, so you would never know it was that had been done. So it is what it is. It was actually a really bum too because it was a replacement battery. It had been replaced in 2016, so it would have been a new second gen battery. This is a 2013 Leaf. But there you go. That's my tip for the day. I don't know. Unfortunately, I don't have any good advice. This is something you can't really check. The yard had lost the key. That's what they had told me, even though it was supposed to have the keys with it. Again, Copart's disclaimers are very big and very obvious that whatever the condition of the vehicle is when the auction closes, it is what it is. So, but I do have this drivetrain, so. My current plan is I'm going to try out two different ways. There are several different ways of getting a Leaf drivetrain to run. One is Thunderstruck Motors has their VCU, and essentially the system will run just like it's in a Nissan Leaf. It doesn't know. It just sends the right CAN commands, and it runs at the stock power levels, etc. And that's how I'm going to run the front motor. The rear, however, I'm actually probably going to do a P&S board. There you can run whatever power levels you want, or within reason, and so then I'll get more power out to the rear. I'm going to try it both ways, see which one works. Obviously, I went the more power route, but the Thunderstruck one is actually a plug-and-play solution, so that's definitely got its appeal. I was hoping to use the sale of the batteries from this to buy the next Leaf, and then or not buy the whole thing, but recoup most of my money from this to be able to buy the next Leaf for the next for the rear power plants. Obviously, since some very morally corrupt person decided to do this, I will have to wait on that, especially with the condition of the world as it is. That might delay this project. But anyway, such is life. It's hard to trust people when you have stuff like this happens, but you got to realize that vast majority are good people. It's just the few bad apples out there that give a bad name to everybody out there. So anyway, passing this information on. Unfortunately, I can't give any great advice on how to avoid what I did. I think I did the right things of again, buying it from an insurance company direct. They were the ones listed on the auction site from Copart. It was part of their engine start program. But those are the things that should be okay. I'd say if you're looking at buying one, go down there, get the key. If they don't have the key, walk away. Or you can pull up some panels, but a lot of times they won't let you do that. You can pull off the disconnect panel and check the voltage there. Yeah, generally they don't like it if you disassemble the car before you buy it. So my recommendation is, unless you can get in the car, turn it on, and actually see the battery gauge that indicates how much shows the battery capacity, that would be a bare minimum. Driving the car forward a foot or two, which you can always do as long as they have the key. Again, the yard lost the key, so I think it might have been slightly optimistically represented when it was listed, but I don't really have any recourse on that. So such is life. Yeah. With everything else going on, if this is the worst thing that happens to me, I'm going to still feel pretty good about it. So stay safe out there.